So I am enjoying the Easter weekend in the garden. There's a couple new things I added. The azaleas we've had since we came here. Um, the columbine, the purple columbine down here on the right there. Here is a geranium just getting ready to bloom. And then I've got, I think those are called bright eyes. But then I just added this cyclamen Rubens this weekend. Look how pretty she is. And she's got lots of room to grow here on this trellis. I do have a couple sweet peas. We'll see if they do anything on the other side of the same. Certainly worth a try. There is one other addition I'm excited about. You can see this is the garden from the long end. It goes way, way, way in the back there. You can see I have a little maple that we added last year. It's really cute. It's got the red leaves right now and it'll fade to green. But my last two houses, we had smaller gardens, but each year I planted a red bud, or each house I planted a red bud, and it's one of my favorites. I get these really pretty purple flowers. Today when we were out shopping, my husband told me to buy a plant because he's the best. And over here you can see I found a red bud. I believe this is called a poplar tulip red bud. And you can see the leaves are this beautiful red. I've never seen that. My first red bud was a twisted, and she was beautiful, really small. But I have a very large yard. So this one's going to go here. And I just might have to add another garden around it. You can see the woods are out back there. So this will make a nice little corner spot. We'll start out small this year, but I suspect the garden around this will grow. And then you can see the pastel gardens over here. It's looking pretty good. It's just starting to come to life, but you know, it's not even April yet. These planters are just the best. That's lavender that's blowing there in the wind, some stock, some larkspur and a foxglove, and some dusty miller. Okay, all those azaleas were here when we got here, but that's all that was in the garden. Last year we expanded this whole section of the garden. It ended right along this line here. So all you see over here is expansion, along with our maple leaf. And then here on this trellis I have my first rose. It's a really pale pink apricot rose. And then along the wall there, I've added a whole bunch of creeping phlox, which will eventually grow down the wall. This wall is about 6 feet up at its height. Over here you can see my lilies, which will go, again, they can get up to 6 feet tall. So that's everything for the pastel garden. And then over here, this is the burgundy bed, and it goes around our giant water oak. And this is all shades of purple, black, red. I call it the burgundy bed. And honestly, that just happened organically. I noticed that a lot of the plants I had in here hit that color palette. So again, this is a pretty large garden as well. Got my burgundy pot up there. Still needs to be planted. It looks a little sparse right now, but give it just a couple weeks. I've got a whole bunch of alliums that will start to bud here soon. I've got all of my hellebore. They're just finishing up for the season because here in Alabama it's quite warm. Okay, so you can see the front of the house there. And then over here, we added this 2 seasons ago. And I know it doesn't look like much right now. This is up at the top of the hill out of our property, right out by the road. But this is what we call our tropical bed. There's not a lot going on up here yet. There's a lot of canna and dahlias. I left in over the winter, quite a few coneflowers. I have put in some of my straw flower. The milkweed's starting to come up. So again, doesn't look like anything now. Give this one really kind of peaks more around June, July, August, September. This garden will be phenomenal. Right now it just has a ton of weeds, but at least it gives you some context for what is to come. There's a daylily, there's some nastrum, and there's some tulips, just some mini tulips, but gives you some context. So this garden, not really in its prime. The burgundy bed will hit end of April, beginning of May. The pastel garden, though, is really doing its thing right now. And it'll go pretty strong throughout the season, but its biggest season is now until sometime May. The azaleas have just bloomed for a couple weeks, but they really are stealing the show right now. So that's what we have for the end of March. Hope you liked it.